my experience with Mike was a very positive experience. I may would have been in a very different emotional and psychological space at this point with my team Mike had Mike not been there to support what we needed.
At High Five Career Coaching, we never use a cookie cutter approach in our work with clients. Rather, we custom tailor our solutions to meet each client's needs. The situation with Benardo included some unique challenges in the sense that I had actually started working with his team a few weeks before he stepped into the role as their new leader. It's all in a day's work.
I felt really comfortable with him in my initial interactions, and felt like I could share my genuine thoughts with him. And so after I was able to evaluate the entire process and where we were going, I said, Mike, I think we need to change direction a little bit, and just kind of recalibrate on our focus.
The ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus is widely known to have said that change is the only constant in life. This was certainly true for this consulting engagement as well. Our key to success was being flexible and working together to find common ground while making necessary adjustments and staying focused on the end goal.
But the question was, how do we get to a point where we feel safe and secure in our own personal and head space and responsible for our actions in a way that we can be more supportive and more engaged and more connected as a collective team, right? And so we came up with a series of activities and things that we would do over time, and decided that as a team, we changed the name, we called it, high five sessions, but I also call them as professional development opportunities.
One of the signature aspects of my work with clients is taking a deep dive beneath the surface to address core issues and group dynamics that are holding a team back from reaching its potential. Oftentimes, we need to strip away distractions to get down to the most basic elements that drive human behavior. With Benardo's team, we took everyone out of their usual environment and held a team retreat in order to accelerate the breaking down of silos and to start rebuilding around shared values.
So one of the first things for me was to really have a session and talk about values, individual values, right? And so Mike supported me and gave me a couple exercises because I wanted to actually facilitate that particular dialogue. He facilitated some other stuff. We had done the DISC assessment, and he had pre-sessions with them and all that, because we wanted to make sure that we were focusing on the whole person, right? And so that was one example of the retreat, and it was very helpful. And so I started this I started to get a sense that we were gaining some momentum. And between that exercise and DISC, we were better able to determine, how do they fit into the larger scope of what we do as a cluster. And then we went through accountability stuff. We went through, what do we call it? Our norms, creating norms together. We divided, into teams over time, and talked through what our norms are. What are we agreeing to as a cluster collectively? How do we communicate with each other as it relates to conflict, or we have concerns or issues with each other? How do we really integrate our own values in the work that we do on a daily basis? And the list goes on and on, right?
One of the value-added things that we do for clients is providing ongoing leadership support behind the scenes to help ensure that learning is taking place and that we maintain momentum.
One of the things that we did is we always debriefed after each session. And he helped walk me through, because some days I really didn't know which direction we were going to take it. I had ideas and thoughts about it. And so we would just have brainstorming session about what could we do. Or, Mike would suggest that, okay, well, based on what you want to do here, I have some exercises and some thoughts about how we might be able to get there.
One of the biggest rewards for me is earning the respect of my clients. I'm grateful for the opportunity to help them.
The first thing that come to mind for me, and I go back to Mike's genuine concern for the human spirit, right? And I think his approach and his genuineness in being willing to hear that and support me, both personally and professionally, in a way that would help me to be the best leader possible, and that I was able to convey that and demonstrate that to my staff. I would say the other thing is that I feel, not felt, because I still feel that Mike really has a genuine interest in people growing, right? And developing, and it felt to me that it wasn't about the, oh well, we're paying you $50,000 and so this is all I can do for that amount, right? It was genuine. Hey, I want to make sure that you get a good product and good outcomes, and that was the focus, and not the time clock to say, oh, you only get 5 hours for this and 10 hours.
Every client has their own set of expectations and desired outcomes. It was a pleasure partnering with Benardo and helping him shine as the new leader of his team and helping to get them on a better path.
In my mind, he certainly have exceeded mostly all of my expectations, and I think we'll continue to work with him once we figure out what that looks like in the future, right? The main thing I go back to, kind of my earlier point, is just the level of support and care. I mean, that speaks volumes, right? You cannot necessarily place a dollar amount on that, and just the place and space in which he made me feel comfortable, given a really kind of tough situation. I mean, he's a consultant. He brought the concrete, consistent plans to help me to be able to lead in the way in which I needed to lead, right? And so I may would have been in a very different emotional and psychological space at this point with my team, might had Mike not been there to support what we needed. So yeah, it could have not ended well. And I think we're in a great place now.
Choosing to work with High Five Career Coaching is a significant investment in yourself that can pay huge dividends. We only take on a select group of clients who are motivated and committed to their own development, open to constructive feedback and support, and are willing to make the necessary changes that will catapult their leadership and their team to the next level. If this sounds like you, I'd love to offer you a complimentary consulting discovery session. This will help us to better understand your situation, answer any questions that you have about the coaching and team building process, and even provide you a taste of coaching around a current challenge you're facing, if you'd like. If it makes sense to work together, we'll be happy to customize a package just for you.